We don't need that. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time. Very interesting panel just now when we were talking about some constant themes, inclusiveness, opening up this market, how we evolve the blockchain community. And what I wanted to spend the next 10 to 15 minutes doing is actually just briefly highlighting the role that we in Gibraltar and the Gibraltar Stock Exchange are doing to do that, to grow the community, to take it up to the next level, because obviously we're at the start of the new digital era, and we're all here to try and take that forward and be the masters of our destiny rather than its victim. So, how are we doing that here in Gibraltar? Okay, a quick snapshot of Gibraltar. We are a EU jurisdiction, completely OECD compliant, and we have, over the last 25 to 30 years, been building some world-class industries within Gibraltar, particularly the online gaming industry, where today we have world-class companies operating about 40% of the global online gaming business going through Gibraltar's doors. Some of the biggest companies in the world are in Gibraltar. How have we done that? Well, first of all, 25, 30 years ago, we created a regulatory framework and a center of excellence to allow companies to come, operate with regulatory certainty, legal certainty, and financial certainty within our jurisdiction, and to create a center and a kite mark of excellence. And that's been very important for us, and there's been a number of lessons that we've learned from that as we fast forward to today, where the government and the regulator, and we as a private sector, were looking at the blockchain sector about 3 years ago and saying, can we use some of the same principles of integrity, honesty, innovation, and excellence? Can we apply some of those same principles to the blockchain community? And that's how our conversation began 3 years ago, that culminated in January the 1st, 2018, with one of the first sets of regulatory laws called our DLT regulatory framework that began on January the 1st, that allowed those that were involved in the transfer of value and the use of client assets across the blockchain to come to Gibraltar and operate under a regulatory license. So, as a result of that announcement on January the 1st, some very interesting things have happened. We've had, Gibraltar as a jurisdiction has now been classified as one of the handful of jurisdictions in the world that have been openly welcoming and looking to create a center of excellence for the blockchain community to, again, provide regulatory certainty, legal certainty, and financial certainty. And those principles, that regulatory framework, are just that, principles. They're not prescriptive, but they're involved with creating that a culture of excellence and standards. Standards matter and clients matter, and that's what the focus of the 9 principles are. To be well-resourced, but to really think and act ethically and honestly, and protect clients, think about risk, think about support, and think about being clear and honest to your clients. And so that's what Gibraltar is trying to do, and what we are doing now. So what are we doing at the Gibraltar Stock Exchange? Okay. So who are we? So the Gibraltar Stock Exchange Group, we're an EU-regulated exchange. We've been operating since 2015 with our securities license, and we've been patiently growing our business. But again, just at the same time that the government were engaging with the private sector and the regulator about how we could get involved as a jurisdiction for the blockchain community, we ourselves as an exchange, very small exchange, but we could see opportunities for us to actually start thinking about applying some of the regulatory principles of operating a market to the blockchain. And to the blockchain community, and actually, indeed, we as an exchange embracing that technology for ourselves. So we have a mission, and our mission is to build that a trusted financial services group. But we want to think big, and we want to actually build a leading fintech ecosystem within our jurisdiction, and actually to encourage partnerships. We're not here to do this by ourselves, and we want to create an alternative capital market network that stretches across the world, with Gibraltar and Gibraltar Stock Exchange playing a part. So at the moment, we have the Gibraltar Stock Exchange, our regulated exchange, more about that later, but we've just launched our new initiative at the beginning of 2018, which we call the Gibraltar Blockchain Exchange, which is a an initiative of ours and a project of ours to apply best practices, rules and standards to the token sale journey and to token sale participants. We saw the rise of tokens and ICOs last year as an interesting alternative way of raising funding, but it's not easy. And you can see now many of you here are trying to raise money, raise profile, and there are thousands of projects out there, and the market is confusing. Some people compare it to the Wild West, but a number of us around the world have been looking at ways that we can create a more trusted environment for token sales and to actually make the token way of raising funding to be far more institutional and to increase standards, to increase confidence, because without confidence, this market won't grow. We need to become more inclusive. It's still a small market that we're involved in. We need to become more institutional to take ourselves to the next level. So we at the GSX, that's how we started the Gibraltar Blockchain Exchange project as the first stage in that evolution. So there are two aspects to the GBX. There's a token sale platform where we're looking at doing the following. We have a system of creating a rules-based system of vetting tokens that are wishing to come onto our platform. And again, it's not rules-based so much, but it's more consideration of some key aspects: disclosure, transparency, and letting participants that wish to consider your token having the full facts. Full facts and full disclosure are very important. And we'll talk a little bit about how we have our sponsor firm network to ensure that vetting in a little bit. But that's the first step. We are creating a whitelisted and KYC'd pool of participants. Every participant that wishes to purchase tokens on our exchange has to be vetted and whitelisted. But that's not all. Very soon we're working hard to launch our secondary market, our digital asset exchange. And that's been a lot of focus of our energy over the last 2 to 3 months. So, a bit more about the grid, our token sale platform. So, as I say, connecting vetted token sales to AML and KYC buyers, very important. But creating that institutional grade platform to increase confidence is very important to it. Employing best-in-breed, first-class principles of transparency, and a rigorous listing process. We ourselves are from the capital markets, as I say, from the regulated stock market. Many of us have 25, 30 years experience. We ourselves did our own token sale called the RKT last year, and we learned the hard way that token sale process, that token sale journey is not easy. And we want to help. We want to help issuers. We want to help participants come together. We want to take some of that heavy lifting away from both issuers and participants, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. It's a very stressful journey, and we want to make it easier and take some of that heavy lifting from you. How do we do it? Well, we're de-risking a number of our processes for both token issuers and sale participants. I mean, there are a number of key financial risks and technological risks that issuers have to face when taking a token to market. We look to address some of those. And indeed, for token sale participants, again, taking a look at some of the risks that they face about being scammed. Are the people who are coming asking for your contributions, who they say they are they eligible? Does their project make sense? So a lot of those things that we look to de-risk through our GBX grid. And obviously there are costs involved to that in terms of listing fees that we charge for that service. How we also get buy-in from our issuers is we have a methodology called staking. Staking is very important. What we want to encourage for our issuers is to do two things. Tell the market what you're going to do, and then once you've raised your tokens, then tell the market what you have done. And we look to do that to encourage continuing obligations from issuers to have got constant communication with the community that's participated. And we retain, during the first 12 months, some of the tokens that are, and the value that's been raised, and we'll look to through a staking mechanism, slowly release that back to the issuer. So we get continual buy-in from the issuer after they've raised their funding. So how we do it is a little bit different. We use, again, a traditional market route where we have a network of sponsor firms that are responsible for taking issuers to market. Now, our sponsor firms, we're looking by the end of this year, or actually the end of this month, to have 25 sponsor firms globally, stretching from South America over to Australia, with the UK, Gibraltar, and Asia in between. Now, these sponsor firms are, the token advisors, the new breed of crypto investment banks, for want of a better word, but they've all gone through this process before, and they know what it's like to help raise the profile of your marketing. They know how to raise a profile and to sort of get you match fit in terms of your legal structuring, and they want to help you and guide you through that journey, and that's where we're here to help you also. So token issuers must appoint a sponsor firm, and many of them are here today with us at our stand. So the secondary market, again, very important. What's missing at the moment in terms of secondary crypto exchanges? There are hundreds of regulated exchanges. There are hundreds of crypto exchanges, very few in the middle, where the two meet. And we at the GBX, we have applied for our own regulatory license within Gibraltar, so we hope to be one of the first exchanges in the world that will have and be operating under a regulatory license in Gibraltar. There are a number of challenges in the crypto community: price discovery, price transparency, openness to users, and a user experience that is currently missing. Equally important, again, is inclusiveness, how we raise the barrier, how we lower the barrier, how we raise standards, but actually get retail, non-techno-savvy people involved, the education process, making it easier, creating a fiat to crypto bridge, and also creating that institutional platform that enables institutional players, private equity, hedge funds, family offices from around the world to be able to have the confidence to participate in our crypto community. GBX is only part of the story for us. As I said earlier, we are the Gibraltar Stock Exchange, a regulated market, and clearly, in terms of the evolution of token sales, we're going to be moving beyond what we're currently doing at the GBX, which is for utility tokens, and actually developing globally an effort to create a tokenized securities market. And again, we're not doing that ourselves. We are working in collaboration with a number of the major exchanges and regulators around the world. We've applied for a license extension ourselves to be able to trade and to list security tokens, and we hope that by 2019, the market will be ready. So within our ecosystem, we've launched our token sale platform. We shall be launching our digital exchange. We shall, in 2019, be creating a token securities market and all the ancillary services that surround that. Token RKT, as I said, we went through it ourselves. We were very fortunate to be able to give ourselves five months to do our token sale, and our token, the RKT, is our entry point into our own ecosystem. So it pays for listing fees, it pays for sponsor fees, it allows token participants to have early access to tokens that come onto our platform, and trading fee discounts also. But I think equally, we wanted to do it because we wanted to understand the challenges that the token community faces, and we learned a lot. We made many mistakes along our journey, but ultimately, it was a stressful journey, but it was successful. And that really is it. What do I want to sort of finish off with? Probably four things. If you're an issuer, come and talk to us. Come and talk to our sponsor firms. If you're a potential sponsor firm, if you wanted to join our community, please talk to us. If you're a potential user and are currently frustrated with the current offerings on an exchange, again, please talk to us. And I suppose fourthly, again, partnerships. We cannot do this by ourselves. To take this to the next level, we've got to collaborate. We're just at the start of the journey, and without sounding too cheesy, What's wonderful about the blockchain community is that A, we're friendly, and B, we understand the need that in order to go to the next level, we have to work together. So with that, thank you very much. Any questions?